Hey guys, it's Koi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, today we're going to be talking about some stuff. There's this viral video going around on Twitter of this Maryland rapper who passed away, and they had his body inside the club, and it was crazy. It was wild. So we're just going to talk about that because I was shocked when I saw it. So yeah, before we get started, definitely subscribe to my channel. It means so much to have you a part of my little family that we have going on over here. And hit that like button. The rapper's body was propped on stage, and people, like, his embalmed body was literally like on the stage, and people were just like dancing and singing around him. And it was very eerie and it was uncomfortable. Like, I'll insert the video and also link it down below to the Twitter profile that like had the video. You can tell people were visibly uncomfortable. The family had a homegoing ceremony for the rapper who passed away. And first of all, they charged $40 to get into the club. We're gonna talk about that later. But yeah, so it was a homegoing ceremony, and they had his body propped up on the stage, and people were dancing around him. Well, not like around him, but his body was on the stage. People were like dancing around near him. You know what I mean? And it was very awkward. The DC Club Bliss, they say that they had no idea that this would transpire, and management wasn't like made aware. Which I find it super hard to believe because they're the ones that have to like literally, like, they're in the club too. So like, how do you not know what's going on in your own club if you're there? You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones that have to unlock the door, let people in, let them in to like set up the venue. They're the ones who have to like shut down the club, make sure people leave. You know what I mean? Like, how, like, is there no communication amongst like your employees and management? Like, I don't get it, but that's besides the point. The I think because once the club received a lot of backlash, they were like, "Oh, we have no idea what happened, Bob. We're sorry." Which obviously they did know, but it was, they were getting lots of backlash. Anywho, when asked, the family, however, they were totally fine with it. Like, this is how the mother wanted to remember her son, and she was happy with the ceremony. A lot of people were stating how we're trying to draw similarities between this and how other cultures will celebrate the dead when close loved ones pass away. Now, the thing with that is you cannot compare the two because they're very different. Two completely different things. In different cultures, first of all, when a close loved one passes away in a different community, a different culture, like outside of the US, like I'm talking indigenous cultures, their death ceremony also ties into their religion. So yes, it's a cultural thing, but it also is tied to their religious belief as well. This has nothing to do with religious belief. This is how they wanted to celebrate their son, like, passing on, like their loved one passing. And it's a closed practice. It isn't a public spectacle. Like, no one's paying a $40 cover to get in to do this. No, this is closed. It's literally primarily family and like close friends, mostly family. It's very small, not big, and it's not broadcasted over social media. So you can't compare this and indigenous cultures and their practices around death and all that other stuff, because it's two separate things entirely. So that argument kind of gets thrown out the window when you add some logic to it. Now, I understand that everybody is allowed to go through their grieving process, how they choose to do that. My thing is, when you do something like this, you have to take into account the people around you and how they're going to react to it. I mean, you don't have to, but you should take that into account. The people who were there were visibly uncomfortable, and not everyone who was there realized that his actual body would be in the club. Now, for sanitary reasons, that's a big one. when you embalm a body, the body has to stay at a certain temperature because, again, you're no longer living. So the embalming fluid is only meant to preserve the body for a set amount of time so that your family can like do a viewing before you get put into the ground. You're in a club. I don't know about you, but clubs aren't cool. They're kind of hot. And heat speeds up decay. So one can only imagine like what's going on up there. And then on top of that, you're in a club. Like, it's closed. I don't know if the ventilation is the best. Most of the time it's not the best in clubs. Like, clubs have poor ventilation. And it's hot. And it's, I don't know. I understand wanting to grieve in your own way and celebrate the loss of your child and celebrate his legacy, how you would want to do that and how you think he would want his legacy to be celebrated. I totally get that. However, at some point you have to, it's like, okay, where do we draw the line? This would have been totally okay if it was closed, if it was just to close family and friends, but you open it up to the public. So by opening it up to the public, you allow for scrutiny from the public. If this was closed, I mean, I wouldn't have the right to say anything about it because this was literally closed to just family and close friends. But you were charging people $40 to get in at the door. So this was, yeah. So, I mean, I don't think you can get upset. That kind of sounds, like, that sounds super bitchy. But I don't mean it like, don't be in your feelings, like, don't get upset. I mean, the criticism was bound to come once this became public. And again, it looks like there was different sections. So if you look in the video, you'll see a little divider. There's people on one side of the divider, and then there's people on the other side closest to the body. Then there's some people on stage with him, like dancing or whatever. I'm assuming the divider was maybe like VIP, like people who paid a little bit extra to be closer, or like immediate family and friends. And then the other side is just general admission. But still, it's, I don't know. I think, I don't know. I personally wouldn't have done that. And I know I guess that's how he wanted to be remembered. That's wonderful and all. But just because you want to do something doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like, some things just shouldn't be done when you take into account, others and other people who are going to be part of it. Again, if this was just family and friends, sure, why not? But not the general public, especially because the general public, like the people who came, not all of them were made fully aware that this was going to happen. And it triggered a lot of people. Like, not everybody can handle seeing stuff like that. It is triggering. It's quite triggering. And a lot of people who were there, like a lot of comments and conversations around it, like people who were actually there were like quote tweeting and saying, yeah, I was extremely uncomfortable and showing videos from different angles. Like, there was people who were there that were literally uncomfortable. Again, I will say, I understand wanting to grieve in your own way, and you have every right to want to grieve in your own way. But don't make part of your grieving process public for everyone to see and scrutinize. Just for the sake of everyone's mental, because now not the parents, but like the mom and the family, they're under backlash for doing this. And it's like, now she really can't grieve how she wants to grieve because now she has to deal with people coming at her for doing this. And it's like, it's a big headache, and no one should have to deal with that, especially after the loss of a son. Like, you should want to grieve, and you have the right to grieve. My condolences do go out to the mom and the family of the young rapper that passed away. I want to know what you guys honestly think about this whole situation down in the comments. Do you support what the family did? What are you guys thinking? Do you think they took it a bit too far? Or are you just like, you know what? None of my problem. Not my problem. I could care less. And then the club. Do you really believe that they had no idea that the family was going to do this? Or do you think they just threw the family under the bus to try to save their own ass? I think they're trying to just save their own ass. But that's neither here nor there. All right, you guys. Till next time, stay pretty, and remember, what you want to do isn't necessarily what you're gonna do. Ciao.